Hey everyone, we're back with another episode. Some really great news and some really unfortunate news. The unfortunate news first is that I recorded a whole video, long video, and a lot of it got cut just because my sound wasn't on apparently. That's something that happens whenever I will turn my computer on. The sound will just get cut out. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but the big thing, as you can see in the title, we got our first rank. So we got the player rank comment, as you can see on screen right now. The absolute legend Neon55 was selling it in the chat, and I was like, "Yo, how much does that go for?" And he told me what it goes for, which was probably about relatively expensive. And I didn't have the money for it at the moment. And I was like, "Okay, cool. Just wanted to know." And he was like, "Do you have a rank?" And I was telling him, I was like, "No, not at all. I'm trying to be a free-to-play player." And the absolute legend was like, "Yo, if you just give me what you have for your sweet berries and some of your other plants, I'll just give it to you." And freaking legend gave me the comment rank. So right here, I'm like showing it off in the chat, and I claim it right there, which is freaking awesome. So I'm so happy to get a rank. What that means is I get a kit, I believe, every day. Yeah, it's a 1-day cooldown on a kit. And what that gives me is a set of armor and a set of tools. So it gives me chainmail armor and stone sword and axe, which you'll see here in a moment. You can also preview all the stuff that you would get from it. So it gives you this little chest. It also gives you one adventure loot. So one like basic loot that you could get from an adventure. So I'm going to claim it here in a second, but yeah, it gives you the armor and it gives you a stone sword as well as a stone axe, and the armor and the tools are not good. So that part is kind of not exactly what the kit is for, because I obviously have stuff that's better. So the adventure loot that I got from this was some rabbit spawner shards. And then yeah, as you'll see here, like the armor has Unbreaking 1, and the boots have Protection 1, but everything else is literally just Unbreaking 1, and then the weapons are also just Unbreaking 1. So all the gear itself is pretty useless, which that's fine. That's not a big deal at all. But there are some extra benefits to having this kit and this rank. So while I'm talking about this, I did open a bunch of quests. A little side note, there was a little Halloween event that was going on, so you'll see me get one item. There are like special items you can get that are just themed for the event that they did in game, which was pretty fun. I believe it ends on Thursday, which is November 6th, which is actually the day that I'm doing this voiceover, just because I was a little bit busy all week. But yeah, but anyways, for stuff that you get for the kit, I do end up actually getting my own private vault, which is a command. So if I did /PV, as in private vault, it would open up a little chest area. So and it would always stay there. So it's kind of like an ender chest, just wherever I go. And it actually gives me a decent bit of spaces to hold stuff. So that's extremely nice. I also unlock stuff like I believe it's /crafting, and I have a crafting table with me everywhere I go. So that's kind of convenient. I haven't really had a need for it just yet, but that's kind of convenient. So I'm not sure if I will need that at all. There is also a command which is called /combine, which I was confused about, but it would be, let's say I had like 3 of the little buttons for the wood, which like turn into like the planks, right? What that would do, or the logs, excuse me. What that would do is if I had, and I think it's like 3 of those gives me a log. So if I had 15 of those buttons and I did /combine, it would automatically turn that into the logs without me having to like take the time to put it all on a crafting table, and it kind of just like sorts out the inventory that way, just to give you a little bit more space if necessary. So that part was pretty cool. So I've used that a decent little bit since this episode. We're also getting a ton of more spawners, which is freaking awesome, because that was one of my biggest concerns was we weren't spawning the chickens fast enough, and I was still having to somewhat grind killing the rabbits whenever I had an island quest. So that's pretty nice. You can see me here. I'm like struggling to combine the spawners, which is really funny. But that part's awesome. And then one of the coolest things that I think comes with the kit is having it what's it called? It's the command/fix. So normally, if I were to go into an adventure, there's the fix it Felix at spawn, which will fix all of my gear I believe it's every 30 minutes. So I can go on the adventure for 30 minutes, and then just after that, like, my armor's taken quite some hits. My gear's taken quite some hits. You know, I've had to use some of those repair scrolls, which is relatively normal, those are really convenient as well. But on top of that now, I have the command/fix, which unfortunately doesn't do all of my stuff. But what it does is, let's say I'm doing the adventure and I'm just using my sword or something, and my sword gets to a really low durability. What I can do is I can hold my sword and do /fix, and it will completely fix my sword, but just the item that I'm holding. So if I wanted to fix a piece of armor, my sword, my axe, all I have to do is hold it in my hand and then type /fix, and it's fixed. And it only has a 10-minute cooldown timer. So that has been really nice. I tried it out a few times, just trying to do that for going into the adventure and keeping my weapons intact. So I think that's probably my favorite part about having the rank. Obviously, all of it is pretty nice. It's nice to have a rank, you know, being a free-to-play player. That's something that was one of my goals eventually, was to be able to get a rank. And while it might not be a super great one, it is something to have. And we do get like a little kit with some adventure loot. And most of it, though, most of the benefits are having the commands, which has been pretty nice to have over the past few days. I do also want to say I actually ended up getting 2 more ranks besides that. I ended up finding 2 more Comet ranks, one of them from another dude who I just applied it to my alt account just so I had it. And then another one, it was actually on the ground at spawn. And this was all after I actually ended up trading, quote unquote, trading for this rank. So I got pretty freaking lucky. So that part's kind of funny. As you can see, we are doing the rest of all those legendary quest challenges. We got some stone gems, 5 cow spawners from that. And if you see, there's 2 things here that look different. There's like the farming stuff, so the carrots, the pitcher pods, the potatoes, and then I'm going to put those away in a second. But one of the things that have been different is on the left side of my inventory, there's like a little box and a little wrapper, I guess it looks like. The wrapper are called Halloween candies. So you can right click those and they give you little candies that pop out of it, which give you buffs and debuffs. I guess I didn't end up showing that, but what they do was they give you, like, it would be like plus strength, but also minus durability or something like that. So just little things like that just for the event, which I thought was pretty cool. And then that other thing, that was like a chest that I could open, and it gave me some like XP bottle things. So I ended up getting pretty unlucky with it, but it's a cool thing for the event. And as the screen cut, that was me coming back from a relatively long adventure. So I got some armor, I got some farming materials, I got some spawner shards. I got a few good things. As you can see, the /collect. I did end up getting another page for the coal fuel. I also got a godly stone expander. It's only 5%, but I will always take those. Those socket expanders are really what we've been looking for the entire time. So that was pretty nice to get. But yeah, this episode mainly consisted of me just going over some of the Halloween stuff and showing off the rank. And then at this last part, this is about to close off the end of the video, so I do appreciate you guys watching. It's just a little check-in video of us getting the rank. This is also something that I caught on camera without the sound, unfortunately. I got super lucky, so we got 2 of the socket expanders there, which actually was insanely good. So I just found this airdrop as I was roaming through the adventure. But as you're going to see here in like just a second, there was one of the chests that I got, which was insanely good and is much needed for our progression. I haven't done anything with it yet because I've been waiting to try and do something with it on video. So I opened this chest in the top right. You see that? I got a heroic marauder key for the abandoned ruins. So the abandoned ruins is the current level of adventure I'm in. So that is pretty much like the next step to being able to unlock the heroic quests, as well as being able to kill the heroic marauders that are in the adventure. So whenever that's like the common and elite and legendary and godly, I believe heroic is the next is one of the next steps. So that has been pretty cool. That was awesome to find. But that's going to do it for this video. It was just a little voiceover just to go over the basics. So I appreciate everyone watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.